Developing in Chicago, police released body cam video that shows the moment an officer shoots and kills 13-year-old Adam Toledo.
And we do want to warn you, the video is graphic.
Hey, show me your head. Stop it. Stop it. Shots fired. Shots fired. Get an ambulance up here now.
So in the video, you can see him putting his hands up. However, officers say he was holding a gun and wouldn't drop it. The officer, who has been identified as 34-year-old Eric Stillman, fired him, hit him right in the chest. The officer is on administrative leave. The family of Adam Toledo issued a statement asking people to remain calm. It asked people to, quote, honor Adam's memory and work constructively to promote reform. So we want to bring in attorney Shaka Johnson to discuss this case. And good morning to you, Shaka.
Good morning. Good morning to you both.
What's interesting about this one is that there are multiple videos to look at, yet there still seems to be conflicting accounts of what happened, whether or not the 13-year-old Adam Toledo had a gun in his hand, whether he was complying. That seems to be the interesting case, or part of this case.
No, it certainly does. It depends on whose lens you're looking through. We do have the ability, Alex, to sort of Monday morning quarterback. We get a chance to rewind the tape, scrutinize, zoom in, zoom out, play it at different angles. And the officer obviously only has one angle. He doesn't even have the same body camera angle that we have. And so I understand that these are very harrowing times and harrowing experiences that call for split-second decisions. When you slow it down, it does appear that young Toledo, Mr. Toledo, was going in the universal surrender position, hands in the air. But then there's a firearm recovered just behind that wooden barrier, just behind the wooden fence. Which, if you look at the video in its entirety, seems to be the firearm that he might have thrown just seconds, maybe a second or two prior to being shot.
Yeah, we know the investigation is ongoing. The officer clearly said that he saw a gun. This is an investigation where seconds count, right? I mean, you're chasing a suspect with a flashlight. The suspect turns around. Seconds matter.
I mean, Thomas, you're exactly right. If you put the entire incident in context, you're already responding to a shots fired call. Then you're chasing someone through a dark alley, just as you indicated so succinctly, that you're using your flashlight to illuminate this dark alley. You've got barriers in terms of fencing, etc. And then you encounter someone and you have a split-second decision to make. There was a firearm recovered, but I think that the analysis is, what did that officer perceive when he decided to institute lethal force? What did he perceive? That could have easily been a cell phone, a wallet, or something else that wasn't a gun. And so the question is that freeze frame. Will they charge the officer? Will the officer be terminated? It all remains to be seen pursuant to this investigation.
Yes, I mean, that's what I'm saying. What's interesting about this is the multiple angles that we have, the surveillance video. There's going to be a lot to pour over for sure.
No, it is. And for some time to come. I don't expect a decision to be rendered immediately.
So let's get to, I want to shift gears here. Obviously, we have a lot to talk about this morning. Shaka, Derek Chauvin chose not to testify. Here's the moment where he made that decision.
Have you made a decision today whether you intend to testify or whether you intend to invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege?
I will invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege today.
What do you make of this strategy?
Well, you know, ultimately, time will tell. But I think in this moment, I think that Mr. Chauvin, quite frankly, I think the defense needed a bold move, and I think Mr. Chauvin should have testified. I know that you are serving him up to cross-examination when you do that, but I personally think with as much media coverage as this has gotten, as much as I think that even the jurors who were selected have, in some respects, had their minds made up one way or the other coming into the trial, but obviously told the judge that they could be neutral and receive additional information. I think to hear from the man and personalize himself, he's been demonized to some extent over the course of the last 10 months. I think that it was a strategy that will ultimately result in his conviction.
Oh, interesting. I mean, like you mentioned, there's always that big risk, though, that even when they go up. Then there's also the factor of the fact that closing arguments aren't going to happen until Monday. A lot has happened in the news, and the jury isn't sequestered.
Right. So all of this, Alex, what happens inside a courtroom is really affected by what happens in the streets. And this is every day. So don't think for one second that because a fellow police officer, and Officer Potter, from a neighboring jurisdiction, who was just arrested for killing yet another black man, another minority male. I want to just, you can't with an unsequestered jury, don't think for 1 second that that isn't playing in their minds somewhere. Somewhere. It has to.
Does the amount of time a defense spends, because we look at the prosecution, they spent about 2 weeks, does the amount of time a defense spends on closing arguments indicate anything about the strength of their case?
No, it indicates that they usually have a very poignant issue that they are focusing on. They're focused and honing in on one particular topic. But I will say, in this particular case, I don't mind saying it. I think that this was a relatively weak strategy that was put forth. Sure, there were some defense experts who testified to a few things, but the onslaught of prosecution witnesses, the emotional testimony for just about 2 weeks, and then to be chased by that particular defense, I think will fail in comparison.
And real quick, in about 30 seconds here, if convicted, I mean, we certainly don't know the outcome of this case, but what appeals would the defense have?
Well, I think the natural appeal to start with is that the jury wasn't sequestered. There are certain things throughout the trial. I think it was a relatively clean trial. I think the judge kept the parameters on the trial. But the big thing that happened during the course of this trial was that an officer from Brooklyn City was also arrested for killing someone during his trial, and the jury wasn't sequestered, and whatever sort of impact they may have had in their minds. That's the biggest appeal issue right now.
Okay, well, thank you, Shaka. We appreciate your insight on this, and of course, we'll be covering this come Monday when closing arguments begin.
So we will. Thank
Thank
you.
you.